Hello. Okay, wait, I can't see you guys. Give me 1 second. Hi, hi. Okay, let me say hi to everybody first. Robin, Leah, Darren, Evie, Fire Butterfly, Lindsay, Arlene. Okay, my dog wants to say hi. Okay, come here. Okay. Still bald. Okay, okay. Hi. Okay, let me go. Okay. All right. Okay. Take her. Where am I? Arlene. Tickle's World. Z. Marie. Darren. Kathleen. Shelling. Lily. Evie. Jelma. And Kerbiter. I'm Debbie. Okay. Hi, Debbie. MLB. Reina. OSP. And you want to cuddle me? Okay. And Lucy in the Sky, MLB, Angel Star, Robin Carr, KKKA Brown, ako 613 Bangtan. Why do you keep on kissing me? Melanie, Dawn Marie, Peer or Pear, Cindy Bangluna, Han, Fire Butterfly is also on Twitch, Lucy in the Sky, H. Erickson, BNB, Share Your Love, Cyan, Amari, Halina, Bexila, Reina, Consuelo, Jelma, Nigma, Orchid MC, Pinayon Say, Amy, BTS Eden, MLB, BTS Paved the Way, Rachel, Mina, A. Braun. They're saying hi, DAEBAK. Gemini, Beth Davidson, Tara from Cali with Love, Ginger, Uy, Reina, Share Your Love, Tisa, Hoan, Myself, Maria. Okay. Say hi, baby. They're saying hi to you. Say hi. Jen is on Fallon on May 21st. I know. And then also Tom Cruise is gonna be on next episode. So just right in time for on time for his final reckoning, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. So that's good news. Congratulations to everybody who caught J Hope's live. I actually haven't watched it. There was so much work. I was drowning for the last several days because of work. So I haven't actually seen the live, but I heard he was completely unhinged. So congratulations to everybody who watched it. So okay, Lucy in the Sky, the preview is hilarious. They're saying hi to you, Debak. They feel so bad for you because I shaved your fur. It's not me, although it was me who gave instructions to, to save his. How am I? What am I gonna do with you here? I have to show them my stuff. The the man will be the death of us. I know. I heard he's completely unhinged. Like he was just saying things. Well, there you go. I think Jay hasn't left his body. So we're still talking to Jay as of the moment. Um are you ready for the summer? Are you ready for the summer? He loves the beach. He loves skin everywhere. I know. So I saw thank you, Angel Star. You've got some treats, baby. I can buy some treats for you. What do you want? Hmm? Say thank you, Angel Star. Say thank you, Angel Star. Um, okay. Skin everywhere. Say thank you, Angel Star. Say thank you. Say thank you. I will buy treats. He is very, yeah, he feels fresh as well. He likes it when it's cold. He does better with the cold. I'm gonna show them my moments, and then I don't know if I have another set of CDs that I wanted to show you. Can I show it to them? Hmm? Can I show it? And was telling us about the chest pimple, and I was like, wow, Jay. I heard about the chest pimple. Did he show it? I haven't seen the live. Did he show his chest pimple? I know that he showed his boo boo on his leg. That I saw some picture of, and people were going crazy. And I thought, like, he's just showing his boo boo on his leg. Come on. Were they not marketed well, or didn't have a large enough fan base? Who? Yeah, he showed us his chest. Had a patch on it. Oh, okay. Jay. I don't know where J Hope is. Okay. You want to go down, baby? I have to show them stuff. No, but just talked about it. Please, Debak, share your mom. See? They said share me. Hmm? He said he has been sick, and I heard that he has had some IV drip. The Everglow group is who I was talking about. Ah, yeah, I heard that they're going to disband. I feel so bad for them. I also want to ask you guys to check out the song of Wani actually had her first OST, and it's a really, really good song. So please check it out. It is, let me see. Let me see. I forget the title, but check out Wani's first OST, please. So yeah, but I heard about the Everglow group. Okay, can you go down so I can show them the pictures? I want to unbox some moments. Have you gotten your moments? 7 moments already. Everything is delayed for me. I still don't have my I mean, I just ordered Happy was delayed for me, and then 7 moments was delayed for me. Polly, I haven't gotten mine, would you believe it? And so I ordered of course I'm going to order I haven't ordered, but I will order. Have I ordered? What have I, oh, I haven't ordered the one for RM. Stop the Rain. I haven't ordered a physical copy, but I've ordered Echo, not here yet. Everything is delayed. Okay. We are in chapter 2. They are showing skin now. Okay. Huh? You got your poly? I haven't gotten my poly. I ordered from the Korean store. I got mine. See, everything is so delayed. Why? Even Moments was actually delayed for me. I just got it 2 days ago, I think. Yeah, I because I was going to show it to you Monday, and then I just there were so many topics, so I couldn't show. Fire Butterfly said about Everglow here. Okay, it's not officially disbanding, but they have left their agency, Yewa agency, according to various reports. While there are rumors of disbandment, the members have reassured fans that they are still a group. Mm. That they are still a group. Oh, wait. This separation is likely due to issues with compensation and contract terms, with member Yiren exposing concerns about not receiving fair pay. According to Korea Herald, and the group is now according to Korean Herald, and the group is now seeking new opportunities in the future of their group act. I ordered Echo. I ordered Echo. Haven't gotten mine. I just got my Hope on the Street album and Ring. I got the email about Don't Say You Love Me. Said CDs have had shipped. Okay. So I haven't ordered mine. So I'm just about to order. Chapter 2. Okay, baby, can you go down so that I can show them the album? Hmm? Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Say bye bye. Say bye bye, people. Say bye bye. I'll see you later. Say thank you, Angel Star. I will buy my treats. Bye. They're saying bye bye. Okay. Okay. Give me 1 second. I'll put her and I'll put him down. Okay. Um, hello from South Africa. Hello. So I will be arriving for Jin's concert. I will be arriving on the 29th. No, sorry. I'm arriving on the 28th. I want to say 28th. When is the concert? Is the concert 29 and 31? So I will be arriving on the 28th in New York. Not New York. Yes, New York. In New Jersey. I'm arriving New Jersey. But I will be working that day. So when I get to the airport, the hotel, I will still be working. And then I'm staying until the 1st. And I don't think I will have time really to go around. So you got your OT7 disc, your RM package, and my copy of Stop the Rain. What kind of dog is DAEBAK? He is a mini poodle mix. He's a mini poodle mix. And um, he so I got him. I think I've told this story before. It was during the pandemic. My father passed away, and um it was April he passed away, and so I couldn't go home at that time because they were in the Philippines during the pandemic. You can't have a funeral right after they declare your they declare somebody dead. You will have to drive directly dire- you will have to drive directly to cremate the body. And if I go home, that would be at the very least 3 days. I will have to be in quarantine for 15 days. And so I practice, there's nothing, like I won't see anything. I won't be able to be with him or see him or say goodbye. So that was really very hard for me. So I thought, like, I need to keep my sanity. So I decided to get a dog. And I went to the shelters, and they were all out. Well, sorry, not all out, but the only dogs they had were big ones, like pit bulls and German Shepherd. And I'm small, and I'm like, I don't have a lot of strength. So I can't hold a dog. And the shelter told me that if you can't control it, then it's not for you. So I had to buy him. So I had to look for a dog. And so he was rejected by the mother. The breeder told me that so I actually wanted a brown dog, like a super brown one. So I was scammed because when I went to meet the breeder, he's obviously not brown, he's white. And then he just begged. He was like, the mother rejected him. There's just nothing we can do. Like the mother doesn't like him and stuff. And I was like, oh, you tricked me into this. But I couldn't say no to like puppy eyes and all. And he was so skinny. He was so small. I can actually fit him on my hand. And so I was like, okay, whatever. He gave me $100 discount, whatever. So, but I don't regret it now. He's the perfect dog. So, but then what really angered me was after a year, or more than a year, after a year, or maybe 18 months after I got him, the shelter started calling me. And they said that, they were asking, like, are you still interested in getting a dog? Because they they were starting people were starting to return the dogs. Like, oh my god, I'm so angry. And at that time I was working, so I couldn't take in another dog. I said I won't be able to take care of it. So yeah, actually, that reminds me, I was gonna ask you guys about this last week, but not last week, but the Monday, but I just forgot about it. But so there's this guy that I follow on Instagram and on X. So if you have an account, please consider following Niall Harbison. Wait, I'll put his profile up. One second. So he takes care of street dogs in Thailand, and um, so yeah, so he takes care of street dogs in Thailand, and he tries to rehome them. If not, his number one goal is to sterilize 100% of the dogs in Thailand. Pretty impossible, but that is his goal. And he has been able to sterilize 100% of the area where he stays in, which is about, I think, 30,000 dogs or something like that. And so he's moving on to the next place. And then he feeds them every day, and then he also gives them vitamins, medicines and stuff. And then he tries to rehome, especially those that won't survive the street. Because what he does is, like, for example, if he thinks that the dog is actually fit to live outside, he would just return the dog in the wild. But if he thinks that the dog won't is better off in a home, then he would try to rehome the dog. So, okay, one second. I'll show him. So that is his page. So that is Niall Harbison. That's his name. Okay, how do I make it bigger? So please consider giving him a follow, because then there, I think that's clearer. Um, you can donate if you want to, of course, but even just a follow will help him extremely. And then I think his handle on Instagram is also the same, because then the more followers he has, of course, more people will see his tweets and he will earn more, and he uses that money to sterilize more dogs and give them, help them and whatever. So please consider following him. And you can also donate if you want, but you don't have to. The follow is more than enough. Like, subscribing to him is more than enough. That will give him a wider audience, which will allow him to earn more on the platform. So please give him he's the only warning that I would give you, sometimes, because he tries to help many dogs. Sometimes he posts pictures that are a little too that are not safe for work, or sometimes, because they're very, very harsh on dogs. So some people would poison dogs. So it's not always, the pictures that he posts aren't always like beautiful. But he tries to mark them so you don't automatically see them. So you can just choose to watch feel good posts that he has. Please post his link. Okay. Yes. Here. Wait, maybe I can. So that's the link. You can click on that link, and then maybe, oh, sorry, here. Okay. So Niall, it's double L. But I posted the link on the chat. So just in case. Okay. Um, I'm more a cat person, because I can't touch or keep dog as a pet, but I'm okay with dog. It's just that I can't keep them as a pet. Since I'm Muslim, I'm not allowed to. I heard that the Muslims aren't allowed to touch dogs or keep dogs. So, okay. So what's wrong with people? Yes, they do. They poison dogs. So sometimes that's the only hard thing when I am, because I follow a lot of dog accounts, like rescue dogs, and I'm supporting one in the Philippines. And so I I see a lot of this, like, horrible pictures. So, but at least for him, he actually censors the picture. Like, what do you call that? You have to click to actually see the picture. So if you know that, so if you have to click to see the picture, it means that it's not pleasant. So you don't have to see it right away. So that's a one good thing about him. And then he just published a book. I already ordered mine. It was the story of Tina, and Tina was the very first dog. He was a drug addict, and he overdosed. He almost died, and then went to Thailand, met Tina, the dog, and that sort of transformed his life. And he sort of found his meaning, and that's what he's doing right now. He's trying to rescue. He's trying to, yeah, rescue dogs, basically. Do you have a copy of this? Something lighter that's so heavy. Do you have a copy of this? Okay, wait. Let me. This is one of their old albums. So there are two versions. Oh, there. Okay, it's upside down. Oh, wait. It's Young Forever. This is the midnight version, the night version, and the day version. He needed a bath. Okay. Thank you, Fire Butterfly. Yeah, just a follow, even a simple follow would be good. So many countries still eat dogs. Yes, Philippines is one of them. It's a lot of provinces still actually eat dogs in the Philippines. You have both? So who has seen this, or who hasn't seen it? Okay. This is actually, if you have funds set aside to buy old albums, I would suggest this too, because they're almost out, and I don't know if they're going to reprint, but do not have and have not seen. So let's go first with the day version. Let's see what's inside. Because I figured at least some of you wouldn't have this, because I think the moments many of you would already have it. So yeah, I suggest if you have, only if you have money set aside for, like, if you're trying to collect their albums, try this, because it's gone, almost gone. Like a lot of their old albums, they don't reprint anymore. Okay. So that Young Forever. So I ordered this, like, I don't know, 2015. Yeah. There's nothing there. But, okay. So you get that. I've seen them. I spent a fortune when I joined the fandom, getting old albums, memories, and concerts. Yeah, it is very expensive. Okay, so there are several things here. No, sorry, that. Here at the back of this are the CDs. Okay, you have the night version. This is the day version. So these are the CDs. So, okay. Oh, okay. I can just put, so that. So I guess I need my CD player. In this day and age, they're making us use CDs. And then this too. So this is most likely, I have bought all the albums that are out so far. So this is a poster. I have so many posters of them. So this is the bigger version of the cover. Oh, that cover. Okay. Okay. So such a long time ago. Okay. You have the day version. So this is the day version. You got mine from all. You got yours from Olive Young when they had a special deal. Very inexpensive. Okay, and then it's embossed. Says Young Forever. It's not embossed. It's the proper term is beveled, because it's like it pops out. So it's beveled. And then, so if you open, it's going to be The picture's so pretty. I like owning my CDs. I'm convinced they'll come back like vinyl did. Or vinyl is still doing. They're still coming back. Hi, Carmi. That's our leader. If you have so many posters, can I have one or two or three or four? I have so many posters. Um, some of it. I have two of them because I always buy two, two of everything. So that's RM. So if we see each other and I have it with me, I can give you one. That's Sugar. What is BTS's best-selling albums? Sorry for your proof. Map of the Soul 7. Map of the Soul 7. Okay. Jin, I don't own any merch, but the first BTS song was Save Me. Every album is like looking into a fantasy. Correct. Okay. Jin, there's a lot here. This is thick. And then as time goes by and they release more CDs, there's a lot more that goes into a CD now. It used to be just a photo book, which is this one, and a CD and a poster. Now there's a lot more in their new CDs. Oh, this is cute. The undercut cut on Jin, yeah, it is insane. Okay, and then Jimin, our resident Mochi. Jimin. Teh. I'm just showing them my collection. So, because a lot of you wanted me to show my collection, so I'm just gonna go through some of it. Maybe like once or twice a month, I'll do this, like go through some of my collections. It's still available. MLB said the album day and night versions are still available on Weverse. Of course, our Macne. So this is it. At least you know what you're gonna get. You don't have to buy two because I'm already showing you. If you don't like opening your album, then you okay. That's our Macne. I haven't J Hope's Jack in the Box. I have not opened at all because a friend of mine showed it to me. So she opened it with me. I was like, great, I don't have to open mine because I know what's inside already. A very well-known Chicago athlete has a long wall with BTS posters that have been archival mount under glass. It's quite amazing. Oh my god, I hope I become that rich. I'm going to do that. So my dream is to have like a like the dog sanctuary that I told you about. I want to convert that as well into I wanted to make like an event place that people can actually rent for events, and I am planning to have a section where my collections are going to be for BTS, and then I'm going to be putting like movie posters, like classic movie posters. So people can actually go there and enjoy, like if there are any um, gatherings or events that fans would want to put together so that they can come together and spend time together and just talk about like the interests that they have, they'll be able to do so. Okay, there's a lot here. Do you want to see all of it? Okay, wait. Oh, I have a photo card. Oh, guess who I got? Guess whose photo I got? Just one. Okay, let's see. Oh, here is OT7. You're not really into collecting a lot of stuff. Neither am I. BTS is my only collection. Okay, it's a lot. So some of it you've seen, some of it you have not. Ah, So this is Jack. Sorry, this is Jay before he became Jay. That's Jay before he became Jay. This is the first iteration of Jay. JK Sugar Hobie, Sugar Jen JK. Angel Stories, right? It's Sugar. Sugar. I want, okay. Let's see. What are the interesting pictures I can show? Yeah, some of it you've seen, some of it not. And then they have the thank you. They have the lyrics, the thank you. Okay. So that's for the day version. It's just wild. It's all photos. Your sugar. Well, he's mine now. So, well, at least his picture. His photo card is mine. Okay. That's the day version. So if you want to buy it, they're low on stock. So if you want to like do a collection, do this. Okay, let's open the night version. Mary, he's not here unfortunately, so he won't be able to respond to you. But maybe if you can bring the paperwork, he'll probably sign it. Okay. You know that in Korea, it's very common that they just go to like whatever office for whatever office so that they can get married. That's it. It's very the wedding itself is it's more like ceremonial. The official marriage is when they sign the papers. So they just go to this office and they sign the documents and they're married already. Okay, so this is the night version of Young Forever. So Young Forever is also beveled. Okay. Yoongi. All right. So that is what you will see. So like the day version, there are three. This, which is the CD. Okay. And then the poster. See, another poster. I don't know if this is the same poster. It is not. They're different. So since I have two of this, then this is an extra copy. Sugar has been harder to spot than Bigfoot. Okay, so this is the poster. See, I've had this for such a long time that it's actually like the folds are turning white. Okay, so that's the poster. You like the aesthetics, the effort they go for each album. I know, right? Okay, so this is Young Forever. I would love to have a poster display rack to flip and forth, full of okay, so that's the night version. So that's them. RM again. RM. Sugar. Jin. Jin again. I'm looking for the photos that are my dog is having a dream. Ah, Mochi. I remember Jungkook fetching them, driving the motorcycle and fetching them one by one. Just place my order for both. Ah, there, there. And then next week, I'm gonna try and burn the CD so that I can show it to you guys. There's a picture. Okay, there's a lot. Okay. So Mm. Guess who it is? Oh, you saw the signature. So guess who? For those who didn't see, who weren't that quick to see, who's my photo card? Like in the store, several of them. Okay. Here's Jay. Jay before he became Jay. Okay. They were cold. Okay. JK. There. And then a closer look of Sugar. Okay. Is there anyone who's going to the I might go to the exhibit of Jimin in New York because I'm going to be there around that time. I'm going to be in New York on the 14th, um, 13th, 14th. I'm going to be there. So I will try to drop by. I'm gonna show, I don't know if I've shown you guys this one. Wait. Oh, this is the giveaway, not the giveaway, but one of the things that you can buy in Jimin's exhibit. And then here's another one. A mini version of his mic. So he has a silver mic, right? That's a mini version of that. Okay. Here's Sugar again. It is more expensive than the album. So I usually try to get something that is already here, but then it's the same thing. It's still expensive. The price of the goods is still more expensive. It's just that the shipping is free. Not free, but yeah. Okay, I've shown you a lot of pictures. I've been at JK exhibit last Sunday. I'm still in NYCD back in Cali on Sunday. Oh yeah, you told me that you were gonna go there. Yes, I remember. Okay. All right. I will try and see if I can burn the CD so that you can see what's inside of the CD of this album, so that if you're the type who don't like opening your albums, you don't have to because you've already seen it. So I will try to do that next live stream. Okay, emotional support pics. Where's that? Emotional are always welcome. Yeah, that's why, to lighten up the mood because we've had some heavy topics the last two lives. So, this is me trying to make everything lighter and happier, because we always need to be happy. You watched Air Supply last night. I know, I remember you were encouraging my mom to actually go. Okay, I love seeing the joy in your face as you share your treasures. I really want, like, if you can just have like a once a month where we can just exchange things that, just talk about BTS. I'll show you my collection. I'll bring like one or two and then we can just go through them, talk about BTS. I hope that there's a space like that. And so that's why if you remember, I interviewed this one army who's now in Japan, who actually wants to come back home and start. She wants to put up her own uh, uh, Bora Cafe. So her goal is the same. Like she wants a space where people can gather, come together. If you're looking for a place that will be friendly for K-pop and all of those stuff, and maybe even do like movie showing, film viewing, or whatever. She wants it to be that kind of a place. I'm really rooting for her for her to actually do that, because we need something like that. Okay. She's planning to do it in. She mentioned it in the interview. I think in OC is where she's planning to do it. Which I was like, that's a lot. That's far because whenever there are concerts, it's usually SoFi, BMO, Kia Forum. But I'll take whatever it is that I can get. All right. What do you wanted first to discuss? June 21st is my birthday, but I'm not so excited about because I want to celebrate. I don't want to celebrate birthday, but since Yoongi will discharge on that day, I'm so excited. Yoongi discharge is more excited than my birthday. I understand. We all feel that. We all very much feel that. Okay, let's. I don't know if you have heard, but wait, you should be seeing this. So Bang Shiyuk is going to testify. So if you remember, they actually HYBE sued Kakao Entertainment for illegal advertising, for getting in the way of doing business, for illegally inflating stock prices, and this is in connection to their bid to buy majority share of SM Entertainment. And so initially the court called the CEO of HYBE, which and he declined. I think it was because he's going out of the country or something like that. And then the court granted that maybe it's an important thing. That's the only way that he would be allowed to not attend a hearing. So instead, they actually called Bang Shiyuk. So he's going to be testifying against Kakao Entertainment. Essentially, he's going to tell the story on what happened during the bidding, how they found out that Kakao Entertainment and SM are doing reverse viral marketing. So just wanted to make it clear that doing reverse viral marketing, or in the US we call it black propaganda, that is not something illegal. You can do that. And a lot of PR companies are that's their specialty. Okay, so that's not something illegal. What is actually illegal is not disclosing that some of the people that are spreading news about you is paid. So for example, for influencers or for those like me, I have my YouTube channel. If I'm doing something in exchange of payment, so let's just say this is just an example. um let's say SM Entertainment told me, do an episode where you're going to just bash Hype. You're going to talk about how the groups that have been companies, groups under the companies that Hype purchased, disbanded, like GFriend. Talk about that. So for example, that is what I am getting paid to do. If I do that, I am required to disclose that in my video. That is why on some videos that you see, there is a disclosure that says um, paid promotions, because we need to disclose that. If YouTube, for example, because that's my main channel, if YouTube learns that I am doing something uh, for money and I am not disclosing it in my channel, then they can actually deplatform me. Number one, they can demonetize me. Second, they can deplatform me. So that is illegal. If you're doing something in exchange of money, you have to disclose it. So that's one of the things that they are complaining about, that SM Entertainment paid influencers to spread fake news, but those influencers did not disclose that they are getting paid. So that's one of that. Second is the lawsuit on the stock prices, that they artificially manipulated the stock prices to go up for Hype to actually lose. So he's going to testify. Now, where is that? Let me see if I can pull it up. This is something critical. And yeah, it is very important. In what he is about to do is actually very important, because this is not one of those laws. It's not a petty lawsuit. You're not just talking about, okay, you're not just talking about somebody. This is not just defamation. This is not just libel. This, what he is about to do, and what he is actually already doing, is unprecedented in South Korea. In South Korea, I'm sure that you've heard of the chaebol culture, where the richest of the rich are almost untouchable, because their network is so wide and they're paying a lot more people. So it is a criminal case. Yes, it's a considered a criminal case in South Korea. So this is unprecedented. He is the first one. So there are many things that are unusual, many firsts in this lawsuit. One of which is that he is going to be the first that will essentially be. It won't move. One second. He's going to be the first time that will essentially be fighting a peer or a friend. Do remember that they're doing business with SM Entertainment and with Kakao. So SM, they still own 9.3% of SM Entertainment, and they're suing they're suing a company that they partially own. So he is going to he's directly going against the people that are taking care of his money. He has investments there. Usually what this rich people, this is the culture in Korea, what this rich people do is they try to avoid going against each other by sort of dividing. They divide their dominance. So for example, this is just an example. Samsung is just going to be on phones, on computers, and that will be their space. Honda is just going to be on cars. That's going to be their space. LG is going to be on furniture and appliances and all of those stuff. That's going to be their domain, and they do it. That is why there is, although it's an open market in Korea, there is still somebody who's always dominating a specific business or a specific industry, because that is some sort of a silent agreement in South Korea, that we're just not going to go against each other. You're already taking care of retail malls, that is yours. I'll do computers, I'll do, and then he can do cars, and then the other can do appliances. That is why there is always one dominating name per industry. And the one thing that Bang Shiyu kind of did was to disrespect that unspoken rule by becoming more successful than the three. Because for the longest time, that the big three, YG, JYP, and SM Entertainment, has enjoyed the dominance in the entertainment industry. And then he came and he just sort of shattered all the business expectations and the business processes and the business setup. And now he's shattering another tradition by going against a peer. So instead of sort of just giving way in the interest of peaceful coexistence, he's deciding to fight it head on. So that is a first. And a lot of people don't realize that, but he can really earn the ire, not just of SM Entertainment and Kakao, but the ire of the entire, of all the chaebols, because he's basically showing that one small and new player can do this. They can fight the oligarchy. They can fight the monopoly. And they don't want that, because that's going to disturb their very, very peaceful dominance in their own lane. Okay. Second, he is not just fighting that person or that group or that business, not even that person, but an entire institution. Because as I've mentioned, he's not just fighting Kakao and SM Entertainment. He's fighting the entire system that has been used by many of these companies comfortably. They're very, very comfortable in this already. And he's coming in and he's saying, I do not care. You did something wrong. I'm going to do something and I'm going to drag you to court. And when you're nurturing a hundred years of tradition, that is not courage. That will be viewed as arrogance. And that is how people are viewing it right now. That he is so arrogant that he is challenging 30 years. So they started in 1980s, 40 years of tradition. Okay. He's got a huge pair. That I have to say. He has a huge pair. um Carla girl, but if someone is allegedly guilty, then he has to stand up for what is right. Correct. Except that that is not the culture in South Korea. The culture in South Korea is that they just try to avoid fighting each other by staying away, that by staying out of each other's way. So okay, as an entertainment, you have this like the same way um Samsung has dominance over something this industry, then for them that others will just stay out of his lane. Like somebody might try to create or come up with new cell phones, but it's going to be an entirely different packaging and catering to an entirely different market. So just try to think about it. Why does Samsung not have any big competition in South Korea if they are a free market, right? They should have more. They should have more companies that are trying to penetrate that industry. In the US, at least you have Google trying to get in. In the US, it's not about them getting banned from creating phones. It's just that the market isn't ready to entertain a new kind of phone. But in the US, you have Apple, you have Google and Google Pixel, and then of course Samsung is also competing. So we're more open. But Samsung, it's only I mean in Korea it's just Samsung. Okay, so he is basically fighting a culture, and that is basically suicide. So I don't really. I hope that people will appreciate this kind of fight that he is doing because it isn't right. I don't think, I mean, I'm not, I, the black propaganda, I completely agree. I'm not completely agree, but I'm okay with just because it's this that's what it is. It's dirty, but it happens. So it's like okay, you just have to play it better. But when you try to deceive the end consumer, that's a different story. So, and that is what they did. They basically, that's what SM and Kakao did. They deceived the end consumer. They made it believe that the the message that they are getting is actually authentic when they are paying for it. And then the other thing is that it actually led to the hate train of many other minors that are under Hybe because of what they did, and that I'm not okay with. So I'm not really. He has to appear because he has been summoned by the court, so he has to appear. There are ways for him to not have to appear. I don't think they will opt to do that because the CEO already said no. The lawyer will probably push him to actually make an appearance. But when he does and he says anything scathing or anything that will prove that SM Entertainment and Kakao played it dirty, they're going to go after him. And when they go if they go after him, that means they're going to go against every group in Hybe. So, depending on what's going to happen in the hearing, I think we're just going to have to be prepared for another round of hate train and another round of whatever propaganda against all the groups under Hive because that's what they're going to do. It's the only resort that they have. If 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 Hive wins this, considering they already won the injunction against Min Hee-jin, if Hive wins this, they are going to shatter all the narratives that these companies and MHJ put together in exchange of millions of dollars. So Chaebol is Korea. Chaebol in Korea is wild. Living in Korea when Korea Air Chaebol was in the news, let me tell you, they have a lot. They do have a lot of pull. I've mentioned before that the Burning Sun scandal is not just about Songri. I definitely I want I think he deserves more jail time. I'm talking about Songri, but I don't think he is the mastermind of this. There's a lot more behind him, a lot more people behind him, but I think he was the sacrificial lamb. They were like, okay, so they got this famous guy, all attention is going to be on him, and they cut it off. Like that was it, that he was the highest, he was the mafia lord on this entire thing, which is impossible. There are a lot more that are involved in that case, but because of their pull and their influence in the police, they were able to stop that. And so this Hybe hearing is actually more than what people are leading people to believe. It's bigger than Bang Shiyuk. He's really fighting a culture, this culture of corruption, of pull. And I think, it's wild that he is even able to do this just because he has this big group that's carrying his company, right? Like BTS is basically indestructible. No matter what people do in Korea, they're indestructible. That no matter what happens to them in Korea, nothing is going to be happening. There's nothing will happen to them globally. So it's just wild to think there's like your shield is one is one group, but the thing is that he can't not fight this. He can't not fight this. If he does not, then he's just nurturing the culture, and they're going to do it something else to someone else, and they're going to do it to him again. Celeste, Bang PD has big kajons. He does have two big pairs. I don't know how many, but he has at least one big pair. About time someone stood up to that level of corruption. I know. It's just that the way that they did it is so dirty. And I think I've mentioned to you that for me, I like having rules of engagement. Like if we're going to fight it out, I have to make sure that this is just the two of us. Like if I have an enemy, for example, and okay, we're gonna fight it out, let's fight it out, but let's leave the relatives and the family members alone. Like that we still need to continue um respecting. We can kill each other, but the family members are to be left out. These people, they don't have that. They don't have that kind of rules of engagement. Um, it would be something if Hybe could get to the level of Samsung or LG. I think they will, but I think it's going to be in the form that we aren't imagining it yet. It's definitely not just going to be. We will. I don't know if you guys have watched my interview with Ricky, which I published last Monday. And one of, I guess, the big insight that he provided during that interview is that technology will change the nature of things. Like it's going to change the nature of things that we know. Like it's going to change the nature of art. It's going to change the nature of music. So one concrete example that he gave, and this was mind-boggling for me because I never thought of it this way. So, for example, when there is a beat, melody, and lyrics, we kind of think that's music, right? There's some beat, melody, and music. And lyrics. That's music. Most likely, a human being. Well, definitely, a human being made that, and so that's art. That's music. But when AI becomes so common that it's doing all of those things, it will change. Like that will not automatically become music. The nature of music for us will change. Like definition of music for us will change. And that was mind-boggling for me. Like for me to just not think there's a beat, a melody, and lyrics, that's music for me. Or even without the lyrics, that's music for me. And for me to think, so that will not be, then what will music be? Right. So I think that's where they're going to get their dominance when they redefine what art is and what music is supposed to be. I don't know what that is going to be. I don't know if I will be alive to witness that. I sure hope I am. So, but yes, I think they're going to be as big as Samsung and they're going to be as big as LG. It's just that it is in the form that we can't imagine yet. Isn't he a Chebble himself? Chebble has to be at least one generation. So his son is going to be a Chebble. His new rich. So basically, a Chebble is old rich. Yeah. And he's not, he's new rich. So I think they do consider Bang Shiyuk Chebble. Well, not by definition. Maybe they are just because he's rich now. But by definition, he shouldn't be. The way Hybe is expanding globally so quickly shows that they know how to appeal the GP. They will definitely get as big as LG and Samsung. Yeah. I think Hybe is aiming for entertainment mogul status, not just music. Correct. Yeah. Because they know they can envision that music is going to change by nature. It's going to change. Hybe eyes Indian market with plans of Mumbai office. I think it was mentioned in one of the planning, I think, or one of their presentation, but no update yet. They just mentioned that they wanna go there. Though for now, the big news is their news search for a new boy band in Latin America. Nothing on Mumbai yet. Is a conglomerate the same as Chebol? No. A conglomerate is an institution, a business. A Chebol is a person, the group of status. I think that's a better definition. His it's a status. Okay. Do you think before we go into the next topic, let's do two more questions. Do you think the background work that Hybe has been doing with the police and cyberbullying is in the red lines for backlash? Um, I think so, and that is part of the reason they have not really publicized much of what they have been doing because they kind of want to avoid getting in the mix of this. Like they don't want to call attention to an already triggering thing because they're digging deep. They're really digging deep, and they are finding a lot of things, and that will, of course, make a lot of people make a lot of people not happy. So I think that's part of the reason they've been quiet about the things that they're doing. And then the other thing is that it is better to be silent because once you start talking about the evidence that you're gathering, of course, the other side will be able to prepare for it. So it's better to gather it and then just reveal it on court. Remember what they did during the hearing of Min Hee Jin. They revealed their hand only during the questioning. So they were so shocked about everything like that. Nobody anticipated that they were going to use the very evidence that Min Hee Jin submitted to them, that the defendant submitted to them, um, against them, right? Nobody expected that. And that's what you want. You don't want them to be able to prepare. I thought in Latin America it's a competition show and the winner gets 100,000. And I think they're going to be a part of a boy band. Fairlane, if Bang will testify, is there a chance that SM would be dragged into this? Oh yeah, for sure. They're going to be dragged into this for sure. Oh yeah, that's not even a question. Yes, they will be dragged into this, and so is everyone else that was involved in this. Yes, they will be dragged into it. Treble is old money like Ford, Carnegie, generational wealth. Yeah, so he's not. If he retains his money, his son is going to be old rich. Well, I don't know how many generations before you're old rich. Two, three. It's just new rich. Fairlane, will you come to Mumbai, India? My fear, I don't know if this is stereotype or this is just bad information I got from people who went there. I do have a very sensitive tummy. And every one of my friends who went there got stomach sick. something because of the spices that you have. They said that the spices that you have don't agree with um, American diet. Is that true? Is that true? And that's what's holding me back. Like I want, there's so many places in, because I'm such a huge fan of Indian movies. As you know, one of my favorite movies of all time is The Lunchbox. But it's, I'm scared because I can't, I have a very sensitive tummy. Is that true? Will this destroy Hybe? I don't think it's going to destroy Hybe, but it could possibly earn the ire of the entire industry because, as I've said, they are going against culture. They're fighting the institution, and they're fighting the culture itself. So that, that's man. A Brown, thank you for the super chat. Will Hype get into movies? Thinking of the guys who might want to pursue acting, won't they need another management company for that if Big Hit doesn't do that? Um, will Hype get into movies? My thinking is that they will eventually put up their own production company or acquire a production company so that they can produce narratives, different forms of narratives. And that's not just movies, it could also be movies or something that is transcendental in terms of media, meaning it's not just limited to a movie, to a movie house, but also TV and interactive metaverse. They're very ready for that. So I think they will. It's just that they will produce not just movies, not just a two-dimensional work, but it's going to be a different type of narrative. You will experience the narrative. So the answer is yes. It's just a different form. They seem to be, that seem to be the model that they're pursuing. They want control, complete control over all of these companies, and they're doing it the right way because it's not like Hybe is operating each of the companies that they're acquiring. What they're doing is that they are acquiring it, they're giving it resources that it needs, but the company that they acquire still perform or function independently. So it's not being held back by Hype. Big Hit, oh, this is the best answer. Big Hit will buy whatever company is needed if BTS wants it. I do think though that they will probably have a division for acting. Mean, and if BTS decides to pursue acting, or at least if some of the members decide to do acting, I think they're going to have a different division for acting, but they will still be under Big Hit. I meaning members of BTS that will pursue acting will remain under Big Hit, but there is a different division that will take care of their acting needs. You know, script reading. You do need the scripts. There's a lot of reading. If you ever want to get into entertainment, one of the best entry point, like entry level positions that you can get into is a reader. That's when they give you scripts and your job is to just read the scripts day in and day out. And you tell them your feedback like, this is good. There's a potential here. Maybe there's a plot line that we can pursue. There is, I know someone who actually did an internship in Red Cart, something production company, and his role was to read graphic novels, and he recommends to the management which they will pursue as a production, a movie or a TV show. Jeff of Amazon bought every company that was in their path like a Pac-Man. True. Okay, let me just change something and then let's go to the next topic. Bang PD is expanding his business whole world, but he's not married, then will be owner of his kingdom. Someone is after Bang Shiyuk here. Someone's target is actually Bang Shiyuk. Who was that? Was it you, Fire Butterfly? One of you, your target is Bang Shiyuk. I need a BTS drama show. Please, I need the emotion in their songs playing in front of me in the drama. Have you watched Begins Youth? Didn't Big Hit had a path for actors? Jin originally signed up to that and not to be an idol. Well, they made him believe he was going to be an actor only to become an idol. Okay, what do you want to do next? Let's talk about what that one of you um did you see the interview with Simon Pegg and worried they gave BTS COVID in 2022? I have not watched it. No, there's just so much work. The entire day I was arranging my flight. So I'm going to go to New York twice in the next 2 months. I'm going to go there to interview designers in Asian Fashion Week, and then I'm going there for gin. So there's a lot like moving pieces that I had to, and of course work. So yeah, okay. Bang Duna, is that you who's after Bang Chiok? This is funny. Okay. All right, let's talk about inspirational versus aspirational. Um, there's someone who actually it came from this topic actually was requested or suggested, not requested but suggested in Patreon because they were talking about somebody saying that I think another content creator talking about Taylor Swift being inspirational and Beyonce being aspirational. And they were like there was an explanation on why Beyonce is aspirational and Taylor Swift is inspirational. And then there's also that question, if one is inspirational and one is aspirational, then where does BTS fall under? Right? Are they aspirational and what and or are they inspirational? So for us to be able to answer that question, we still first need to understand what is inspirational, what is aspirational. So in the last month, I've been thinking about like if I am going to categorize different um, artists, specifically musical artists, if I am going to come up with an archetype, like what would that be? What are those different archetypes? Now, for me to understand the personality of a singer, the branding of a singer, I need to divide them into two. The personality, I need to split them into two. One is song topics, and this is what they sing about, what type of music they put out, not just in terms of melody, but more importantly, in terms of lyrics and message. So that's the first type, their song type. And then the other type is the branding, because as you know, marketing is always different, sometimes separate from the music that you put out. So you could be in person really a bubbly person, but because the branding plan says that you have to be mysterious or bitchy, then you go that route, right? So that's your branding. How are you dressed? How do you deal with people? How you talk and all of those things. So, okay. So there's always two: song topics and branding. Now, as I was going through the archetypes and thinking about like, okay, as many of the singers that I know and what kind, how I describe their music or songs, I realized that these two are almost always connected. They're not always the same, but they're almost always connected. Okay. Now, before we get into that, one of the things that I think is important to understand is a lot of singers are actually not just singers, but even actors, just artists and celebrities. They're actually um, stereotyped. So once they establish their market, and once the market knows what to expect from a singer, it's so hard to shake out of it. So almost always when a singer gets into a specific genre, they stay in that genre because that's where they develop their fan base. And they once they establish their sound, they try to stick to that sound because they know that that's what made them popular. Okay. Okay. And that is not really about music or their artistry. It's just more about marketing. Okay, so first archetype is inspirational. So this are singers or songs that are more about personal stories of struggle, resilience, and redemption, messages of hope, empowerment, and self discovery. So it's almost always rags to riches, defeat to victory. That's where you get the inspiration. It's telling you, if I can do it, you can do it too. Like, look where what happened to me, you can do it too. That's because the goal is for them to show you their journey. This is important. It's not just the end goal that they're showing you, it's not just the victory that they're showing you. They're showing you the whole journey, from defeat to victory, from down to up, from nothing to everything. So it becomes very, very inspirational. So an example of inspirational singers would be Demi Lovato and even Le Seraphim. So Demi always talks about like how things were doomed for her, from especially when she began as a very young singer. She was abused by the industry. She was actually addicted. She had a very, very unhealthy obsession about her body. She had this mentality that she was not good enough because she is not as thin as other celebrities. And the same thing is true with Les Seraphim, especially their last album. They talked about how they were so down that they almost gave up, the defeat that they felt. They didn't know how to shake out of it. They didn't know how to win. I always remember that line from Yoonjin in her letter to her fans, when she said that the one thing that kept her up at night is trying to answer the question, how do we survive this? Like, they were so down, they were so hurt that they did not know how to win it. Like, how are they going to survive it? So that type of messaging, when they are showing you their journey, that's inspirational. Okay. Other groups would be Mary J. Blige. I am really, really dating myself, because I'm sure that many of you don't even know who Mary J. Blige is. And then, of course, Eminem, right? Like, both of these people rap and sing about, well, more Mary J. Blige. Eminem doesn't really rap, but that's their message. We were down and out, and then we didn't just survive, we actually won. Okay, so very, very inspirational. Next is aspirational. Aspirational is the projection of life of luxury, success, and untouchable coolness. So this is not necessarily arrogance, because you're not telling people you can't do this or you're not as good as I am. You're just showing them this is the life of a princess, or this is the life of a queen, or this is the life of a king. But in no point will they say or even make you feel as if you can't become them. That is why it is aspirational. You're aspiring to become them. Eminem is another level genius. I absolutely agree with you. Yes, definitely. Okay, one of that would be Beyonce, and I was surprised because I was trying to think of who else could be aspirational, and there's very, very few of them who's actually packaged the way that she is packaged. Tate McRae, who is the, I guess, one of the young superstars nowadays, she's kind of leaning towards that as well. Glamorous, cool, a little untouchable. So, but she's still she's young in the industry. Her career is very, very young, but almost the same packaging. She's not Britney Spears. She's a little bit more elegant in the way that she is packaged, and that comes with that. They do that through her clothing, the way she talks. If you have ever watched her being interviewed, I'd observe how her demeanor, she's very prim and proper. Okay. But also, she's a trained dancer. The third archetype is novelty or comedic. So these are singers that are actually just being funny. They use humor, satire, or absurdity as their main weapon for their music. So they are the court jesters of the music world. They offer comedic relief, or they poke fun at societal norms. So it's not just always just joke for the sake of making people laugh. It can also be satire. So no, Lady Gaga will get to that later. But she's not aspirational. N- so some examples would be Psy, right? Gangnam Style, Gentleman, almost every song that he released in the US. So Gangnam Style, Gentleman, they are, and then Daddy or something like that. Those are all funny. They are not taken seriously. Like if you ask people, it's not art. It's just funny. It's pop. It's very very popular, but it's not art. So that is comedic and novelty. And I've mentioned before, I've discussed why that actually hindered, that became a disadvantage to BTS when they were trying to get into the music industry in the US, because Koreans specifically were typecasted as funny people. It reinforced the bad stereotypes on Asians. I mean, there's a lot of good stereotypes in my opinion. Like we're smart and all that. I think those are good stereotypes, but that specific one not very good. And then there are the outlaws, rebels, the rule breakers, the ones who do what they actually want and how they want, and they don't give a damn about who's watching. They talk about taboo topics, but it's not limited to politics. In fact, sometimes it's not, they don't even touch politics. And this is where Lady Gaga would actually fall under. So Lady Gaga, Madonna, Marilyn Manson, and of course Lady Gaga, and even Miley Cyrus. So they do their own thing. It's wild, sometimes a little too wild for people. We don't understand. It's over the top, right? When Lady Gaga actually showed up to this award show and she was wearing meat and stuff like that. Her performances, it's so different. It's not necessarily graceful. It's just weird, but in a good way as well. So they are the rebels, the rule breakers. They are outlaws outside the norm. And then there are or braggart or flexers. So this is, while aspirational projects luxury, they aspirational ones, they don't put you down. They don't tell you um, that you can't move on, that you can't be me, right? A braggart and a flexor demeans almost. it's not it's not demean, it's I guess it's a breath away from demeaning people. But they're all about flaunting what they've got and reminding you that they are on top. Like they would always, almost every song that they would put out is almost, I'm cool, I'm great, you are no match against me, like move out of the way, I'm here, give way, something like that. And they constantly boast about their achievements, their wealth, and their perceived superiority, often belittling others to elevate themselves. So for for example, for Beyonce, if you listen to her song, she's not really belittling any other group of people. She's not belittling anybody except the haters, right? she she's just talking about how good she is. But a flexer or a braggart will actually belittle other people. So their entire persona revolves around self aggrandizement and maintaining a facade of being an ultimate alpha, regardless of their actual accomplishment. So again, if I go back to Beyonce, she can support her claims. If she says I am one of the most successful, move out of the way, she actually has a portfolio to support what she what she what she what she is claiming. But a braggart don't necessarily have what it takes to back up their claims. So they just flex. Now, there's a lot, actually, a lot of stars that do this. A lot of rappers, correct. A lot of rappers actually do that. Like they drop their first song and they already talk about being the greatest and whatever. It's like, okay, this is your first single, dude. Like, relax. But there's a lot of the songs of Blackpink actually is about flexing and bragging. Um, the ones that they've like shut down, and all the others, like it's either nonsensical or it's just about bragging. Okay, one second, it won't move. Who is a flexer? A lot of rappers are actually a flexer. You have DJ Khaled. For DJ Khaled, almost every song is a victory lap. And the same thing is true for Blackpink. Almost every song is a victory lap. Like, come on. And you talk about something else. But and then a lot of rappers, as I've said, it's just anytime you hear about how great they are and all of those stuff, it's, yeah, that's flexing. The minute that you make your audience feel like they are inferior and that they are no match to you, as opposed to just being the queen that you are, then you're already flexing. And then you have the dream weaver. They craft personas or projects, or they create artistic works that transport audiences to another world, offering a temporary escape from reality. So these are actually, I would say that this is more common than we actually think, but not but also rarer than we think. Okay, so they create immersive experiences, whether through fantastical music, surreal visuals, cinematic universe, or larger than life persona, allowing fans to disconnect from everyday life and enter a dream-like state. So one of that would be Bjork and I'll It. So, as you know, Bjork is the queen of dream weaving. She really creates an entire universe for you. And it's not just limited to her music, it's not just limited to her songs. It's everything when she performs, it's multimedia. She integrates everything else to suspend your reality and make you believe that you are in a different universe. So she's offering you an escape. And that's kind of where it is headed. They are offering a different type of universe, right? And so even they themselves have two personas. Okay. Machine Gun Kelly. Okay. um who said that? Elaine said Machine Gun Kelly. As what? Under what? And then Enya. Oh yeah, Enya is magical. Yes, we the best. DJ Khaled. Yes. And then there are storytellers. Kind of, this is actually, I lean towards these musicians I just observed. So they are lyrical novelists. They paint vivid scenes with their words, and they are narrative driven, packed with characters, settings, and emotional arcs that draw listeners in, like in a captivating book. So they create stories, basically. That's what they do. They don't necessarily talk about themselves. Instead, they write narratives in their music. So one of that would be Bruce Springsteen and IU. So when they write songs that are stories of someone else, like you're listening to the story of a life of someone else. Tori Amos, yeah, correct, Tori Amos. That they are storytellers. Okay. And then the heartstring strummer. The heartstring strummer. They specialize in heartfelt, tender songs about love, heartbreak, and the everyday moments that connects us all. So they're the girl next door or the boy next door, where it's just casual everyday life, about friendship, heartaches, having crush, um, your relationship with your parents, your failures, just the everyday thing, real things that we experience in our lives. So that's the heartstring strummer. And no one does it better than Taylor Swift. And then, of course, Ed Sheeran. So Taylor Swift's favorite subject is love, right? And a lot of it is her own story. That's why she's so relatable, because she sings about everyday life. And then, of course, Ed Sheeran. Okay. And then there's the mysterious loner. Mostly they emphasize being alone, shunning the world. They're very, very comfortable in loneliness. In their songs, it almost feels like the world is better without them, or that they are better without the world, one of those two. Like they the emphasis is always being alone. I'm alone, I like being alone, I'm better alone, everybody should be alone, leave me alone, things like that. um and it is, and in packaging, usually they're elusive, enigmatic, almost mythical. They are rarely seen. They don't do a lot of press junket, they don't do a lot of interview. They retain their mysticism. So Hosier, I hope I pronounced that right, Hosier or Hosier. And um oh my god, I forget his uh him. Wait, Frank. Yeah. uh Frank Ocean. Oh my God, why did I forget his name? Oh yeah, Frank Ocean. He does not grant this too. They don't grant a lot of interviews. And when you listen to this song, Hosier is the white guy, and Frank Ocean is the black guy. So they, if you listen to their songs, it's mostly about loneliness or being alone or being left alone or how they are better without the world or the world is better without them, something like that. So um that is their packaging, and usually that is followed and consistent with it with their marketing package. And then of course you have the activists, those that are using their songs and their music for social, political, and environmental causes. And it's not just art for them, it's actually a call to action. Okay, all right, so those are the 10. I think this is the last one, correct? Okay, yeah, this are the 10. Bob Marley is one of them, and then Rage Against the Machine is the band. So that might primarily that's the type of songs that they write about. So Bob Marley is a master of activism. Now, real greats. So I'm sure that you realize I did not mention a lot of artists like Michael Jackson, the Beatles, Elvis, BTS. Real greats are those that can conquer more than one archetype, right? Because as I've mentioned in the opening, there's a lot of singers. One of the frustrations of many singers is that once they get known, they become known in one industry or one genre, it's very difficult for them to move on to another. But real greats actually move on, although they kind of start somewhere and they just evolve. But once they evolve and they retain their fan base and they grow and of course establish their legacy, then you know that they are actually great because they've been conquering different genre. Okay, one example, I call this types of artists meta artists. So meta actually means beyond. Okay, it's a Greek word, Greek prefix or preposition meta. It means after or beyond. So usually when you combine it with a different word, English word, then you form a meaning. For example, metamorphic, yeah, metamorphosis. So that root word is actually beyond. So beyond this world, or so that I think are what I will classify very, very few artists under. And these are artists that change not just themselves, but also change their industry and transcended music. So they affected not just music itself and their industry, but other things as well. And there are very few artists that will pass that test. Very, very few. I would say less than 20 in the world. So, for example, Michael Jackson actually started as a storyteller, and he was a great one. He created many characters and many stories that became very, very popular. You have Billie Jeans, and then he did Thriller, and then he did Bad. And in all of that, that's a story, a different story. It's not him, he's just telling a story. Thriller, of course, is his biggest hit. And then, of course, he did Smooth Criminal. But then he slowly transitioned to inspirational songs. He slowly transitioned to activism. That's when he started writing and releasing songs like They Don't Care About Us, We Are the World, Have You Seen My Childhood, Black or White. So from the first this is like first big hits that are more about somebody else telling a story, slowly transition to something more social or something more about his own story? Okay, so Michael Jackson is one rare one. You of course have the Beatles. They started with heartstrings strummer. They talk about like everyday things in their lives. In their first album, you have Your Eyes Are Standing There, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Please Please Me. So these are all about like cutie things, cutie songs. Great though, but it was cute. Now they slowly transition into something else as they grow up. They started singing Blackbird, Strawberry Fields, and Across the Universe. Trivia, these are three of my favorite songs of of the Beatles: Blackbird, Strawberry Fields, and Across the Universe. So they transcended, they went past the cute heartstring types of songs. Don't worry, I am not going to forget BTS. BTS started very, very, right? So they were the outlaws. So they were talking about not the institution of education, not wanting to do anything. We are bulletproof. No, things like that. But after they did the most beautiful moment in life, they transitioned. They started transitioning into storytelling, and then they started doing more inspirational things. They started doing activism. The Truth Untold, Idol, Black Swan, Mic Drop. I can go on forever. But more importantly, the test, the ultimate test for you to know whether an artist is actually a meta, is if you can identify how they changed the industry and how they transcended it. What is it that changed when they became a thing, right? How did they change the industry exactly? If it's just chatter, if it is just marketing, if it is just PR, then probably you're just getting brainwashed into thinking that that person is a legend, even though that artist is not. Okay, so for example, for Michael Jackson, he revolutionized the music industry. The music video industry. He changed everything, really. It used to be just about cute scenes of singing and dancing and whatever. But when he came out with Thriller, it became cinema. Music videos became cinema. He raised the bar for live performances. The moonwalk dance, the magic trick in Smooth Criminal, all of those things, he made people realize you can do more on the stage than just break dance or whatever. There's a lot more you can do. Okay. Um, he turned the pop star into a larger than life multimedia phenomenon, right? Because he wasn't just about music, he was creating a movement, basically. The same thing with um, the same thing with Elvis. He introduced rock and roll uh, in the mainstream. He was actually the first one who danced wildly in the mainstream. That's why he was tagged. He was called a an antichrist, because no one saw that kind of movement before, and suddenly it was like, oh my god, you can actually do this. And then he actually was the first idol in the music industry, where there was like people were following him, fans were following him wherever he go. He was actually the first idol. And that was even acknowledged by let's not bash, let's not bash, no negativity here, please, no negativity. Okay, so you can just state your opinion why you don't agree, but no bashing. Okay. Okay, so be concrete. If you don't agree with what I'm saying, say, oh, I don't agree because this, but don't bash. Let's not bash these people. Okay. Especially because many of them are dead. All right. And then the Beatles, they created the music video industry. They really were the first. I was having in my interview with that distributor guy, that was one of our points of conversation when I said, like, the Beatles did so much. Like, this entire, like, the sell, like, merchandising basically came from the Beatles. That they started that. The music video industry, they started that. They were the first ones to have a music video, a proper music video. And then they pushed the singer songwriters in the mainstream. Like, they made it acceptable, or maybe even mainstream. They pushed singer songwriters in the industry. And then, of course, BTS, because they were the first, they transcended music. They were the first to introduce foreign language songs mainstream globally. They weren't the first to sing foreign language, but they were the first one to actually introduce it to mainstream. Now it's not odd for people to hear songs of another language in their radio stations. They also created a new art and entertainment industry with music as the center. When they created a narrative using music videos, uh, short films, books, and all of that, the center is their music. That's an entirely, they are basically redefining how music is going to be consumed. They're redefining what art is, what mainstream, what pop art is, basically. And of course, they redefine their boy bands. Now, this is a non-comprehensive list. There's a lot more that I would put under BTS, under Michael Jackson, under Elvis, under the Beatles. And there's a few more artists that I would classify to be meta. And I will like actually do a proper, probably a small book or a mini book about it. But so those that are asking, what about Prince? What about Beyonce? What about whoever, Bruno Mars? I think you can personally answer yourself by thinking, how did they change the music industry? So before, like, how do you feel things changed after them? So how did Beyonce change the music industry? So start with music itself. How did she change music? Right? So it is very concrete with Michael Jackson. He started the Thriller narrative, the Billie Jeans and all of those stuff. What about, and then for the Beatles, they introduced singer songwriters, right? So they were really singing only the songs, except for one. In their first album, they were just singing the songs that they wrote. BTS started this entire narrative and they introduced foreign language songs in the mainstream. So what about Beyonce? How do you think she affected the music industry that it's going to change forever, right? Um, and then the same thing is true for Bruno Mars. How did he change? What is it that he changed that everyone will adapt after him? So you can answer that yourself. Um, they now you it's not necessary. It won't be necessary that you cannot expect everybody to agree with you, because we, at the end of the day, we have different tastes. But that test is supposed to be objective, right? So if you cannot objectively say this is how they changed the music industry, then probably not, right? But at the end of the day, music is supposed to make us feel good. This is supposed to entertain us. It's supposed to be a relief for us. So if you feel no, this person is a meta, then that's a meta. there is there's absolutely no reason for you to believe otherwise, right? So that is how I would classify it. So the question on whether, like, is BTS inspirational or aspirational, the question I think has already been answered. They've transcended, they are in all archetypes because they can tell stories, they can inspire, they can talk about casual things like everyday things, so they can do heartstrings strummer. They've sung about political and social, well, probably not political, but more social, critical issues. So they have covered so many of that. The same thing is true with Michael Jackson and the Beatles. They've covered so many of that. So then the rest. So the question would be, the answer is not that you cannot box them into a single archetype. So they are, and that's what makes them great, basically. BTS dancing plus their message got me. Have enjoyed them since 19. Okay. I recommend Ray Lynch and his interesting music. Fire Butterfly, BTS. His songs are metal, right? Okay. So BTS in hiatus. push others to step up. So imagine on their return to the stage what they will change again. Before Thriller, songs were listened to, radio, CDs, whatever. Thriller began the change of music to be both visual and audio. Yeah, he created the first audio visual experience really. It was a um yeah, yeah, audio visual experience. He didn't confine music into audio. It's not a sonic experience alone. It is audio visual for Thriller. Um, he didn't write that song, by the way. Okay, communism. Okay, I am transitioning at work from office to at home, but I'm still traveling over an hour each way now. Good night. Good night. Okay, music was dropped on Mondays until Beyonce. Okay, I mean, as I've said, that you can determine whether an artist is a meta or not by objectively identifying like this is how she changed or he changed the industry globally. It cannot be just like, and it has to be substantial, of course. Like, um you can't say like they were like she was the first artist to have a black hair. You can't say that. Or to use or to wear a hanbok. You can say that. That's that is not substantial. So it has to be substantial enough. What about Fleetwood Mac? I would say they are both activists in terms of like archetype. I would say they are both activist and heartstring strummer. Yeah, for Fleetwood Mac. Kenny G changed the world with his sax. Okay, I'm curious of those types. Where would the band The Rose fit in? They are they're storytellers. Funny because I was just listening to The Rose on my way to work this morning, and at first I couldn't recognize who it was. Like, who am I listening to? And then look at it. Oh, The Rose. Yeah, yeah, the song. I would say that they're heartstring strummer and storytellers. They're very good at storytelling, by the way. The Irrelevant and the Five Moots have been super quiet. Oh, the irrelevant roach. The irrelevant roach. Did you remember them because I said black hair? um, Nirvana bringing grunge rock to the forefront for a while. It's just called plagiarism, according to MHJ and Nujinska. Does an artist need to be typecasted? Is it important for their career? You need to be very specific with who you are appealing to in the beginning. So if you watched my interview with Ricky, we actually discussed that because and this is just the truth across the board. It doesn't matter what country, it doesn't matter whatever. People are only able to process one information at a time. So I will only be able to grasp who you are if I know exactly who you are as an artist. That is why we come up with branding strategies because we want it to be very, very clear who it is that we are appealing to. And it could either be coming from who you actually are or who it is that you want to cater to first, and then look for an artist that will cater to that need. But the answer to your question is at least in the beginning, you have to be very clear on who you are in order to appeal to a specific audience. If it's like, um, at times they do like throw as much as you can in the wall, and whatever sticks is what you will stick to. But it is better if you focus. We call it the single minded proposition. You will hear that a lot. Like, the single minded proposition is what is it that you're offering to the market, because that is going to determine who you are going to appeal to. Now, eventually, just like what Michael Jackson did, just like what BTS did, just like what the Beatles did, and a few others, they did expand their artistry, and they did expand their personality. But it takes a lot of genius to be able to do that. For you to move from Thriller to um, to heal the world, that's a huge leap, right? So for you to be able to sing um, I Want to Hold Your Hand to be singing Blackbird, that's a huge leap. So for you to be able to make that leap, there's a lot of steps in between. So it's not really a leap. It's more like a relay. But you have to carefully craft your messaging, your personality. But at the end of the day, it all depends on your genius and as an artist for you to be able to deliver your message clearly, not let go of your original market, and then move on to the next. Okay. Freddie Mercury changed lives. uh, Beyonce just released Blackbird with permission of Paul McCartney and made people think. Um, Aretha Franklin music resonated with civic rights and women, offering hope and empowerment. That's how Jen cooks. What? That's how Jen. I was just thinking about reading about Aretha Franklin and then Jen. BTS is the only group I've set my clock. I've set my clock even on solos. I make sure I'm up to see them. Every single song on Cowboy Carter is history lesson. Brown, the Brat Pack. I love music in that era. Don't forget Dean Martin. Formation is a political song. Beth, we didn't start the fire is amazing. I see meta like being the trailblazers, so not everyone is a meta, although they may be great and influential. Correct. Yeah. I would at most probably have 10 people, 10 artists in my meta list, but that is my meta list, right? That doesn't have to be your meta list. But for me, like the artists that would read that really changed the industry and transcended the industry and sort of changed the direction of music industry, there's probably 10 for me. That's a lot actually. um and you already know the four that's in it. So and then there's like six more in that list. I'll come up with my own. Also, this archetypes, this is an original concept of mine. So if you go around looking for it, you won't find it. This is my original concept. I just thought like in the because of that question, as I've said in the intro, there's someone who asked like is BTS inspirational or aspirational? And the more I think about it, the more I realized, after decades of love for music, I just came to realize you can't this is they sing a lot more. They are a lot more than inspirational and aspirational. And then that I went down the rabbit hole. I started thinking about other artists, the music industry, how it changed, whatever. Yeah. Does being meta mean they are successful artists? Yes, but they not all success, but not necessarily financially, and definitely not financially, not definitely equally financially. That sorry, not that definitely not equal financially. Some metas are actually more successful than others financially. um who decides who is a trailblazer? It's up to you. It's your list. That's what I would always say. It's your list, so you get to say. One great thing about music is that it is very very personal, right? You can't you can't objectively say that a good song for you is a good song for me, and I cannot dictate to you my favorite songs because it might not appeal to you, and that I think is part of the beauty of music. So that will leave entirely that will be entirely on you to determine who you would consider trailblazers. Now, as I've said in during the presentation, it's just that there are objective ways on how you can objectively say whether someone really changed the industry and transcended the industry and really affected it to for it to change completely after their arrival, the same way Michael Jackson did. That's that that not that's something that you can't just. I would even say like Whitney Houston is a meta because she changed balladeer. She changed ballads forever. Um, but I haven't really thought about that one. It just came into my head right now. But yeah, one objective test is that number one, it has to be substantial, as I've said. Like you can't you can't say that because this five girls were the first ones to not color their hair. That's trailblazing. Like, come on, it has to be substantial, right? You can't say that, oh, they're a trailblazer because they wore handbook. That, come on. Like, so it has to be substantial. The change that they made has to be substantial. Whatever first they made has to be important enough to change the industry. um yeah, you can't say that they were the first to use circles. Not, come on. Like that, probably not gonna pass the test. So yeah, so it has to be substantial, and they have to change the industry. It has to be different after them, basically. Yeah, that's, I think, the best. Like, after they arrive, like, what's different? The same way Michael Jackson just changed music videos forever, performances forever, um storytelling forever. The same way Beatles. Yeah, so they invented light sticks. That's probably not going to pass the test. But if it makes you happy, go ahead and think that. Yeah, so that's what I'm talking about. Like, there's a lot of firsts, right? There's a lot of things like, oh, this person was the first one to do this kind of art. Like, okay, but don't think that's important for the music industry. um Miles Davis changed jazz. Yeah, see, but it's fun just to be able to, I think, for as long as, I think this presentation is so successful because you're thinking about musicians and what they have changed, right? So I think this is successful. It doesn't we're not going to come up with a universal list. That's impossible, because we all have different tastes, and of course we have different cultures. So what I may feel is important to me culturally and personally will not necessarily be what is important to you culturally and personally. So it is impossible for us to have like one list. We may have some people in common, but not exact lists. But for as long as you guys are thinking about the artists and the impact that they've made, not just on your life, but in the industry in general, I think that I think that's a good, this is a win for me. Right, this is something, because that's what I want. Like, for us to think of artists, good night, Han, for us to think of artists beyond just the stage, to appreciate the impact that they've made, so that we personally would know the importance of music and why it is important for us to pay attention to art, because it does not just affect us, it affects the world, right? So, and we won't get there unless we really critically think about these things, and not just the color of the hair and the light sticks or the handbook that they were wearing. Oh yes, before I go, please don't forget, thank you for always reminding me, don't forget to like the video. I'm walking away more irritated. Why are you walking away more irritated? Don't be. Think about who, come up, you make it fun, come up with your 10, and then share it to everybody. Like, this is my meta list, right? Come up with your 10, then share it with everybody. If you guys are in Patreon, share your 10, your top, your meta 10, not just your favorite artists. For example, um before BTS, my favorite group is actually, was, still is, I guess. They're still my favorite, is Linkin Park. I wouldn't call them meta. But they were my favorite band, and Oasis. Those two, I really love those two bands, but I wouldn't consider either of them a meta. I just really love their music because they resonate with me. And then it's just that BTS came along, so then it became BTS. They invented lip sync. Lindsay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Please, I would encourage everybody, just think of your 10 meta, your 10, or how many, if you think of 20, go ahead and 20. I think just thinking about these artists beyond Millie, oh my God, Air Supply, Milli Vanilli. Oh my God, those guys. All right. Well, they are great singers. In all fairness to them. So yeah, share your meta 10. Make it fun. Don't impose on others. Just that is just my tip. Don't convince others that your list is the right list. Um, it is not a comparison. One hot shot. It is not a comparison. We're just thinking about and not comparing uh Beatles versus Linkin Park or Beatles versus Oasis because they like comparing that in the past. It's just whoever it is that I think for me is the top 10. Then Journey is good as well. So yeah, think about your meta 10 and then share it, and others will share it too, and we'll have a great conversation. Don't ever expect that people will agree with you. I think the expectation should be that you will learn something from others and they will learn something from you. So for as long as you feel like you were able to share something and others went, "Oh, yeah, I did not know that." I think that is a good. That's a win. The same way I think this is a win. Like I know that some of you don't think Elvis or the Beatles should be in the list. That's fine. I'm okay. For as long as I inspired you to think about your favorite artists or certain artists and how they affected the music industry globally and art industry globally, I think that's great. Okay. Tara, okay, thank you, Tara. Can we please not be toxic with this meta stuff, like who you like but realize it's not the same for everyone? Yes, correct. Correct. Just who you are, whoever it is that you like, you, that's your meta 10, and it will not be a universal list. When I publish my own, I'm sure a lot of you are going to say, Fairlane, I don't think this is the, and that's fine. That is absolute, that will be fine. I am looking forward to whoever it is that you're going to be sharing. Okay, we are a minute over. It's 2 hours and 1 minute. Fairlane, can we do a segment on artists and their philanthropy costs? Okay, I can do that. I'll try to do that next week. I will do the best of Ranjin next week. My favorite, because I am about to finish all the episodes. I'm catching up on the content. So I will do my top 10 Ranjin episodes, probably moments more than episodes. I'll do their philanthropy and causes, and then let me know what else you want me to talk about. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for being with me. Bye.